pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Financial report.
So moved.
Can you read some of those amounts, the balances on the financial report, please?
What would you like?
Bank balances, how much we have, you know, that whole
Okay.
top few lines.
General fund balance as of 10/23 is 802,743.20. Highway is 72,870.99. Yeah. Capital projects, 470, 253.56. Unexpended time deposit is 6,000. Water fund is 70,926. Cash is $6,644. Then it gets into cash receipts, and then it breaks it down by department.
What about the New York class fund, where's that? Was that on there?
Let me see. Oh, expendable time deposits, that's 6,000 right now? I didn't think that was New York class, I thought New York class was higher than that.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Motion to approve the financial report by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Pacer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the town board meeting minutes of October 9th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Decent to approve the October 9th town board meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the public hearing, October 24th, 2023.
Just what, and when I read it, one sentence, Gary Snell asked about the fire department and what interest they have had. I remember that, and that the town should keep the interest generated. It was said that we cannot keep the interest. I never remember you asking if we keep, you did?
That the town should keep the interest?
Yeah.
No, what I was after was if they're gonna have that kind of money and hand it to somebody else to make the interest on it, why don't you make it on it for yourself?
All right. All
See
right,
what I
so,
get
yeah,
at?
so, yeah, it is
It's
the
kinda in
same.
between, yeah.
It is the same.
Because actually you're giving them whatever money you're giving them plus the interest money.
All right. So move.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Second.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Pacer to approve the public hearing minutes of October 24th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Fire department report. I'll read that in case you don't have it. Your Stafford Volunteer Fire Department answered 32 calls last month. In those calls were many EMS, 5 MVAs, and 13 fire-type calls. The department members completed 145 hours of training last month, including in that we did some air pack training, pump operators with drafting, and participated in more fire prevention activities. Please stay safe. Tim Ekdahl, Fire Chief.
Move to accept.
Second.
Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Decent to approve the fire department report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We have the code enforcement officer. Thank you. Report, 8769 Route 237, a shed,
That's the tax number.
tax number, $75. Main road demolition, demo permit, 7123, I assume that's the old stone building.
Yeah.
Westbrook on 33, land separation. 5567 Horseshoe Lake Road, generator. 7423, 6494 Roanoke Road, a garage. And 7520 East Main Road, special use. That's the code and zoning. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right, who seconded that?
I did.
Motion by Councilman Decent, second by Councilman Pacer to approve the code and zoning enforcement officer's report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we're gonna move out of order here. John Sands.
Get the assessor's report out of the way.
All right, hang on.
Because we'll forget it at the end if we don't.
Next item is the assessor's report. I have been working on getting all the deeds filed in their respective property folders. Previously, they were just kept in separate folders by the year they were received. And if you needed to find one, you'd have to go through every folder to find the one you're looking for. That's the assessor's report.
Move to accept.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman
Decent.
to approve the assessor's report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now we'll go to John's.
I had a petition over here. It's my whole road, Caswell Road, and road across the street from 33, two residences there. And we all would like public water, and 'cause most of our water is pretty bad. And you see people all around us getting it, and we'd like it. I've been a resident of Stafford now for 52 years, and this is probably the most important thing I've ever seen that we need.
Yeah,
That's the future, really.
definitely. I never realized how bad the water was in this town until.
Well, I have manganese in my water, which is a black stuff like graphite, and of course iron. And I have a big filter and a water softener, and I have to wear a mask to clean my shower, a commercial mask, because I have to use chemicals to get the iron off it. And I have to drain my hot water tank about every 6 months or so, and sometimes it comes out, it looks like oil out of a carburetor. And that's with a filter. But other people have their own problems too, so.
Yeah. Like I say, I never realized how bad the water was in this town until
When I first
good
came
water
here,
came
it was
to
great.
town.
When I first came here, it was great. The last 10 years or so, it's gotten a lot worse.
Well, we'll work on it. You know,
I appreciate that.
Should we cover what the usual events are for getting water?
It'd be nice.
Yeah, normally what happens is you put in a petition to show that there's interest.
I'm sorry, even with hearing aids, I have trouble hearing you. Could
All
you
right.
speak up just a little bit, please?
Normally what happens after you put in a petition is that we turn it over to our engineers. They'll take a look at it, and they're the ones responsible for determining if it looks feasible. Are there any, long gaps that, a few houses would have to cover? Then what's done is you actually have somebody that does a survey. And because we depend so much on grants, because you couldn't afford water without the grants, then what happens is they do a survey, and it includes an income survey.
What do you mean an income survey?
An income survey, how much people earn.
Median wage.
So that, because the rural development funds are based on on an income level. And just about except for number one, where they came through with the pipe, every one of these is dependent on those type of grants.
Where do the grants come from? Is it the state or the county? Or
Federal,
federal?
USDA.
So it wouldn't do any good to contact Holly,
This is a
say, for
farm
instance?
area.
And it skips right over them, really.
Won't do any harm.
Yeah, it won't hurt.
The more people you talk to,
Yeah, okay.
So anyways, what the petition does, that allows us to say, all right, it's worth going in and hiring somebody to do the feasibility and survey and income survey. Then after that, if they can come up with what looks like a feasible plan, then we use Municipal Solutions to do our grants for us. So then we would pursue a grant to try to keep it under the state maximum for water districts.
Do these people that investigated, do they talk to any of the residents?
Well, the ones that do the survey would talk to the residents. The others that work on getting the grants would take the information from that and pursue the grants. Because there is a state maximum that you can charge for water. So you're in that pinch between how much can you get for grants and how much you can charge for water. And if you hit that spot, you got a good district to go with.
Yeah, but I've seen some roads that have maybe 3 houses on that are 6 miles long and they got water. And it's like, we got a lot of houses, pretty much everybody wants water,
You've got about 12 houses in a quarter to a half a mile.
and everybody wants the water, but I'm gonna be dead and buried before we get it on our road.
Yeah, I'm 1,000 feet from water, and unless we do a townwide district, it's unlikely I'll get water.
Has the
How do you
engineers,
determine what districts get water?
We try to do districts by need, water quality, and then by affordability. Can we get a mix where we can get a grant that works?
But it seems like all the towns around us, everybody has water. Does everybody in
I
Bergen have
called
water?
Byron and they said every single resident besides 2 houses by the end of this year will have water, and that's Byron, and they're the ones that ran up the other side of 33. That's the closest.
Virgin's just about, as
So how-
far as I know, they're done.
Yeah, so we got towns Bergen, towns Byron, Stafford, it's like we're sucking.
Yeah, and both of those we have been doing smaller districts all along. They went with townwide districts.
Why don't we go with the town?
Why can't we do it
Why
townwide?
that's what we're investigating right now. We did a survey on it, and we have the engineers looking at what the proposal would be.
You said we should do a petition, but what was the survey that we sent around that everybody filled out?
Yeah, we filled out that
That's
survey.
for a townwide district.
Okay, and where do we stand on that though?
We're waiting to hear back from the engineers on whether we have a feasible plan.
When will we hear back on that?
Didn't they extend the survey to try to get some more interest?
I never heard anything about a survey extension.
That's why I'm asking. I thought the survey can still be updated, can it?
Not at this point, they ended it
Oh,
last month.
All right, they ended it
So they're
last
still
month.
compiling all the.
So now they're compiling the extended survey. All right.
At the last meeting, didn't Eric talk about maybe doing a public hearing out to a public hearing was mentioned for, finishing the one district?
Finishing
town.
which district?
Doing number 14 and have it be town-wide. He
Yeah,
mentioned maybe,
that's one of the steps.
maybe instead of doing the survey, announce a public hearing, you may get more answering it.
Yes.
So basically, we have to sit and wait for the survey
No,
to look, or?
no, we would take the petition, see how this would do as a standalone district.
So should
Because
we have people here on Mill Road also that,
11 houses.
That
11 houses
Everybody
that
wants it.
everybody wants
I
water.
mean, I know it's over on Forward Extension, coming around, I don't know how you should come to our side, because it's coming up School Road, I think, too, as well, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get to the railroad track, but we're on the other side of the track.
We're on the other side of the thruway as well.
I have to come off.
Based on past experiences, what are we looking at as a timeline? You gotta have an idea. I mean, is it
Probably a couple of years at least to get pipe in the ground.
A couple of years to get the piping, or to get it approved to come to us?
To get it approved, to get
To
start
get going,
construction,
you know?
yes.
How did
So
Leroy
the
make out?
engineers are doing a townwide solution, come up with what a quote, and then they submit it to get a federal grant. Is that what we're
Then
doing?
we submit it through
Federal government.
Municipal Solutions. Am I right? They, the engineering firm doesn't do the grant.
That's federal.
How you do it, you just have a certain district, you do the math, you figure out what it's gonna cost, and divide it up by the number of people that live in the district, and that's what it's gonna cost each one of you. I mean, there's district number 1, I think is probably $100, I don't know, I'm in number 2, I think it's $2 or $250, something like that, and it goes up to almost $1,100 or $1,200, and
What's 12 at? What was the final number on 12? Do we have that?
no, but it's up there.
The questionnaire you sent out last summer, I think it was, it had 4 different figures, and they asked you what you were willing to pay. I paid whatever I could to get it.
I mean, same,
But-
but doesn't it just go on to your tax it? I mean, isn't it just something you
Yeah,
pay
for
yearly
30
anyways, which
36
ours just
years.
keeps going up anyways?
All right. A water district really is your smallest form of government. I love the state a lot of times when they say there's just too many levels of government, they'll include the number of water districts as government entities to skyrocket the amount. So what we've been doing is when the grants allowed smaller water districts, we were doing smaller water districts. When the grants opened up that you could do larger water districts, there was a period of time where you could do larger water districts, meaning town-wide, but you couldn't if you had already started on doing individual districts, you had to continue doing individual districts. Well, there was probably such an uproar on that they changed it to, no, you can do townwide districts, and they actually upped the amount that you can get a grant for now.
When we first started with this, we wanted to go from Route 5 down Roanoke Road to Roanoke. They wouldn't allow it. We had to go from Route 5 to Bill Hagan's. That was District 4. Then we went to the rest of the time to Roanoke. But that has changed.
So how many more water districts have you got to go in Stafford then?
Well, we're probably, 12 will probably be the last for a while anyway.
Why for a while?
Well, if we don't, about the only way we can do it is town-wide. Because if you go with a smaller district, it's just gonna, the cost of it is gonna be out of sight.
Who determines it? Now, they just turned in a legitimate list of people that want that, and they got bad water. Now, the next group of people over here's only got 3 houses on it, they got bad water, and they turned theirs in too. Who's gonna make the final decision? Naturally, they're probably gonna go with that one because of the money part of it. They're gonna collect more money from that group than they will from this group.
Well, let's put it this way. If you have to run a lot of pipe to get those 3 houses,
Yeah.
that's gonna slow it down, because then you have a high per cost.
Did I hear last week or last month that you said something about they're gonna do some dead end things again? Like they started out doing that, getting to the last house and then stopping, but they didn't wanna do that anymore. They couldn't flush the systems and they had all kinds of excuses, but that would be the way I would think that they'd wanna look at, like Mullen Road. I mean, you're gonna come up to my son's house there, and then there's nothing for a mile and a half to get down to Ricky Branton's. He could come from the other way, you know, so
It's always convenient if that's part of a loop.
well, that's the thing, you could come from Orville down around that way, right to Pro Road. But,
Well, that's like,
But if you look at it, let's say you folks are looking for water to come to Caswell and Westbrook, and we say, no, all right, we're gonna do it townwide. Well, what if the townwide flops,
yeah,
and it's unbuildable the way it is? We should have in the queue one that says, all right, we're not gonna do townwide, but can we do this one? That's why, even though we're doing townwide, turning in the petition is good, because there may be just a workable district out of
You just,
those 2 roads.
the
how far are
cost,
they coming down Griswold Road?
the cost, you take the.
To the railroad.
the amount
Chris
of-
Road, oh, sorry.
The cost,
The
you
underpass.
take the amount of pipe that goes in the ground, what that's gonna cost, and divide it by the number of people in the district.
simple
It's
as
as simple as that. And if there's too much pipe and not enough people, the water district just becomes unaffordable.
Yeah, but what gets you though, excuse me for interrupting, they got water on Griswold Road, we got water on 237, you got water on Pro Road, School Road, and we're sitting, Mill Road and Caswell Road, we're sitting in between all these water districts that we can't get water.
Are the engineers proposing a solution for that, maybe another district instead of the townwide solution, or are they submitting both for grants?
We don't, this is, right now, this would be we don't have any other proposed districts besides townwide in this one, right? All right.
the thing that's gonna scare them in the town wide, is that final number.
Is Mill Road included on this?
There are 2 signatures for a noble man.
All right, thank you.
One.
There's a few more over there.
There's a few more here tonight.
We're here tonight.
Oh, you can have one.
Yeah, if you can sign for Mill Road too. Because I mean, it doesn't look like a bad project. I mean, it can't, no, it's not.
And you talked about two things, you talked about cost, and you also talked about water quality. Who's checking the water quality? How do we even know the water quality if it hasn't been checked? Those are the two reasons for getting it, right?
Yeah,
Health department.
Cost and water.
that would be through the health department.
Is it public knowledge of what engineering firm you guys are using?
Yeah,
Should we-
Clark Patterson.
Should we contact them directly also?
Eric comes to the meetings, they're easy to contact. If you were to contact them, what would you ask?
Well, like, ask them to come, they'll come to a meeting.
They'll come to any meeting we want.
If you would like to have the engineers come to the meeting, maybe they would make more sense than we're making, and have them come to the next meeting. That's great.
That would be great.
Sure.
Although you said the engineers are supposed to talk to the residents anyway, Brett.
Not necessarily.
Well, no, for the survey,
Yeah.
because we do an income survey, but there are times we outsource that to a firm that does surveys.
That's why the Horseshoe Lake Road Water District never happened, because the income was too high.
What do you mean the income's too high? What is that?
They wanted $1,800 a person for 36 years to do Horseshoe Lake Road and then send it out to us.
Oh.
In addition to your yearly taxes.
Correct.
In addition to your tri-monthly water bill.
And to the addition of the money that you have to spend to get the pipe run up to your house.
Yeah, that's not what you're talking
There's, what they didn't spell out, which, I'm in Water District 12, so it's easy for me to sort of comment on this. There's the grants, but then there's also a payback loan. There's also another loan that they get. That's what you pay back on your taxes every year. Right? Am I right?
Yeah,
There's a
it's
loan and a
above-
grant
Above the grant.
above the
The grant.
grant.
So did they take everyone's income?
The grant is 45%.
Yeah. I think they take all the income and then divide it, average it
Yeah.
out, right? Yeah.
They do an income survey. This has, if you have a road with all McMansions on it and everybody's earning 200,000 a year, your chance of getting a rural development grant's gonna be zero.
I'm on Horseshoe Lake Road, where are the mansions?
We've got to get mentions.
I was thinking of the grant.
Okay, let the man speak.
How was the amount of the grant determined, how
So
much
we
is
don't
it supposed to
suffer.
be?
Yeah, I got it.
It's normally a percentage of the,
45%, I think.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
45%
Of what?
Of the total cost.
of the total cost.
Hey, Ron or Bob, do we know how many residents don't have water yet in the town? We're looking at it town-wide, how many residents are we looking at?
I don't know.
That would be part of the next step for townwide.
Well, you got that survey right there. There's a bunch of them right there on that sheet, but I don't know who else. We'd have to do a survey and find out.
Yeah, but when you pass out that survey with on a newsletter, if somebody doesn't read the newsletter, they don't do the survey. If they get it off and throw it in the recycle bin, that survey doesn't get turned in.
That's true.
But if there's enough interest and they haven't submitted a petition, it at least tells us it's worthwhile pursuing it. That's what the survey's for, so we don't end up putting money into it and then not having it pan out because there isn't the interest.
So out of a district, then how much does the town of Stafford have to pay?
How much does the town of
Yeah, for like
Stafford pay?
water district number 12. How much does the town of Stafford have to pay for that water district?
Town of Stafford doesn't pay, people in the district have the.
So town of Stafford doesn't pay any money at all?
No.
Well, hang on, there
Well,
are,
When you're building it, yes, but
Well, how much,
after the thing closes, the people in the district are paying it. The other people in the town that are often a place where there's no water at all and never, highly unlikely you're gonna get, they don't count. That's,
You'll see in the spring when you get your taxes and just.
there are carrying costs to these water districts that we do have to budget for, but then they are assigned to the water district, and the water district pays them from there. So
the water
So the
district.
majority of the money then for a district is paid for by the residents and the grant?
and the grant, yes.
But
Water,
not the town of Stafford?
water pays for water.
What's the income base thing, I didn't quite understand that.
Again,
Is it yearly gross or?
the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, I merged the two words there, has an upper limit which they will do grants for. And if your income surveys put you above that limit, then you gotta go elsewhere for funding. But the most lucrative grant for getting rural water is rural development. If it wasn't for that, you would not see all the water you see out in the country.
You wouldn't see any of it.
The most grants are from the USDA then?
USDA.
It sounds like there's a lot of people in this room that want to get water. And I'm just wondering, can the board put together some sort of, assessment with some of these folks that want to get water? Get them involved so that we can expedite this, because there's no reason why, half the town should have it and the other half shouldn't.
There are,
It's a matter of arithmetic. You got so much pipe and you got so many people. If you got a lot of pipe and not very many people, you're not gonna be able to afford it unless we can get grant money for it.
So who writes our grants?
Good question.
Rural Development has written all of our grants.
And they cost a lot.
That's USDA, they're the federal agency that provides the money for it.
A good example of that is right here on Route 5. I live right there on the transfer road. I pay like $1,000 a year, I think it is, in my tax. And they don't pay anywhere near that on Route 5 because there was a lot more houses to divide into.
Right?
So they got it less money than I did because we didn't have enough houses. But that's the way it is.
Well, same thing with a line in District 2 that ran into Marvin. That was,
Transmission line of fire.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Would there be an easy way to find out how many people don't have it? I mean, it's gotta be fairly simple math. How many houses there are versus, that wasn't on Eric's report?
Well,
Should the water authority have that report?
No, the water authority, the only thing they do is when the district is complete, they take over ownership of it. It's from maintenance and providing water.
It'd be pretty hard to find out because there's a lot of people in the water district that didn't take it, that didn't want the water. So how do you figure out who they are?
that's, if they said no, it's still a yes, because they're
Yeah,
paying for
they're
it.
paying for it, yeah.
They're paying for it.
That's true. I like the idea of you going with a wide, town-wide thing. The thing that's gonna scare them is when they get a total price for a town-wide thing, that's gonna scare them. But it shouldn't, because it costs money. Divide it up.
But again, do we, it might be the case that including this makes a town-wide goal
You get a
better.
Better grant.
Or it could be where maybe this on its own could make the town-wide go better.
That's a good way to look at it. Go ahead.
Virgin has a town-wide.
Yeah, they're more popular.
And they didn't do a whole lot of expansion prior to going town-wide.
They have villages.
Same thing with ours. They had village.
Yeah, right.
And then when the grants became available for town-wide, they were in that period where, all right, we'll do town-wide, but if you have already started, well, too bad for you. So,
I don't know how Leroy made out. They installed quite a bit of their own water line along the road. I don't know how that worked or how
we talked
financially
about that.
feasible it
Yes,
was.
It's not really feasible. It's
Well, it's gonna tie you up forever.
a lot of rules and regulations.
Because we looked into that for those real little ones that,
Right.
Yeah, like the
What's the one
one
we
we
did
go
with-
there, a couple days you can run line to there.
I guess
So who determines where the next water district will be?
the engineers will tell us if we have a feasible water.
And so that's gonna take them forever or whatever to get the answer to us, and then you go from there.
We'll get an estimate from them on how long it'll take.
That petition will.
Would it be worthwhile, would it be worthwhile you having the engineers come in and we meet with them, or?
I mean, you can, but they need to determine what the scope of this is and then see if it's a doable project.
So would it be worth it for us to get, like, I know there's houses on 33 that would also want water, that we didn't add onto our Caswell Road, that are all part of Stafford. Would that be something that we should get a petition going and have them sign it also, so it's?
Yeah, because you could close the loop.
You could just close the loop, you know, go down 237, go down from 237, and then the Mill Road guys could, you know, we can just keep getting signatures. Would that be okay for us to go?
We come down 33 and tie off Mill Road, tie off Caswell Road.
Yeah, they're,
Go down, tie off on Griswold Road then, and then you got your loop.
So the engineers are gonna submit all those options, the schematics, everything, and then give it to the municipal, wait for a federal grant.
That's the one that.
How long then before we get a hold of the engineers, before they come out and do something?
We'll forward a petition after the meeting and we'll ask them.
I'm
what
sorry,
type
I
of
can't,
lead
you
time.
guys talking, I can't hear what you say.
We will forward the petition to them after the meeting, and we'll get an estimate of when they can tell us about feasibility.
Petition always helps. Okay, if you don't have a petition, it goes nowhere. You know, and it's not that we don't wanna give you water, we have to follow all these rules and regulations.
Right, but when we drive around the county and we see people that have water, that there's 3 houses on a road that's a 10-mile long road, there's 3 houses, and they got public water down there, and we got all these houses that we want water. Well, it seems like we're,
It's not that we forgot you.
well, sometimes it feels that way.
I know.
Well, some of that's been 5, 6 years in the making.
Yeah.
Also. You gotta remember.
Some of the houses need water, like Emily's house, her well's been running dry. We don't drink our water, you wash the clothes, everything's ruined, you know, I've gone through so many washers, and like John said, you know, the heat, what are they called, the water pumps. Yeah, everything, so.
I mean, I changed the water filter.
It's not because I feel like we're spoiled and we wanna get water, I think we need water, I think there's a difference.
I change the water filter every 2 months because it's so coated in iron that you can't get water to pass through it. You know, so it's not like, oh, let's have water, it's, you know.
Let's put it this way, if you want more people to move to the town of Stafford, a better water situation will get them here. And there's your tax base right there. So let's make this happen.
All right, enough said about this, can we move on?
One more question, on the petition, before you submit it, should we get the other signatures on 33? So that you can submit a fuller petition?
always add them
Or is that
on.
sufficient?
Can always add them on.
Always
Yeah,
add them on.
We'll get this turned in,
Just
we
keep-
have more.
Okay. Should we forward them to you, Barb? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Quick update, some of you guys have been asking about cable. So
Next.
I,
I'd rather have water.
okay, I covered this previously. The county is the one that have done the grants to do cable. They are supposed to get cable to every house in Stafford. There was, and we were in phase 1, so I checked with the county manager to see where we stand. They are still negotiating with Spectrum over the contract. He did say that they had settled, that Spectrum had settled contracts with counties similar to ours. But don't forget, when I ask him these things, I'm saying, you gotta tell me what I can share publicly. So he said they have settled up with some other counties, but he didn't say which ones are all settled up. Once they settle, we can get a map that says this is where it's going to go. During the process, the cable company had a question about 6 properties that were, I think they all turned out to be agricultural buildings, they weren't residences, if they had to run cable to that. That's to avoid, they run cable out to the end of a road to a building that turns out to be somebody's barn that they just ran cable to that nobody will use. So we're still in the phase 1. He said at best it's in the 24, 25 range to get cable. But that's where we're at. So that's the latest update on cable.
They just came down our road a couple months ago, measuring telephone poles and all that, saying that they're gonna put fiber in. I'm not sure if that's part of that whole plan, but.
That's when, not even part of the plan, you know, we wanted cable for years down on Thwayne Road. And people get tired of me telling the story. To take it from Morganville, a couple poles past Morganville, to Thwayne Road, they wanted $22,835, and they'll be glad to put it in. All of a sudden, poles were they did a pole survey, all of a sudden poles were being replaced. I walked out and asked the guy, I go, you know, this pole isn't half bad, how come you're pulling it out of the ground? He goes, well, Spectrum's gonna be leasing the poles, so that's why we're getting all the poles to a certain level, and lo and behold, 6 months later we had cable. Nothing to do with trying to fund it through the franchise agreement, nothing to do with grants. Apparently they had to get a signal somewhere down farther than us, and they installed it.
So you just weren't that important?
Or we're just stretched out, and that's fine. I'll try to stay out of the being important. So yeah, I would say if they're surveying poles, they're getting ready to go. But again, the goal of the county, 2 phases. We're in phase 1. Get broadband to every residence in the county. We tried to do a grant. And we got frustrated by them because they wouldn't give grant money unless you owned the facility, unless the town owned the facility. So, good example we could do, if we had a collection of stores here, the town could do a Wi-Fi setup. As long as we owned it, they'll give us a grant for it. But the minute you turn it over to the cable company, which the cable company demands, they won't give you a grant on that. So we've tried other avenues. This looks to be the best avenue for it.
You brought up the cable and made me think of one thing, and then I won't say any more. But we have a street light at the end of the road that has been out for a while.
Couple years.
Who maintains the street? I don't know, we don't.
National Grid.
So who would I petition to get that fixed?
We put a call into them.
Because that's a safety thing on our road. We've had a couple close calls.
The best thing, I mean, we could call it and put it in, but the best thing you can do is call a dispatch center, just a 343-5000 number, and they can contact National Grid a lot better than I can.
Yeah, but I submitted something to National Grid, and they told me the pole and light don't exist, and even I gave the pole number and everything, so I'm trying to figure out how. I took a picture of it, and so it's a big safety thing, and we don't want to see more accidents done.
If you go through a dispatch center, it
Okay.
gets notified a little quicker.
Okay, thank you.
If dispatch doesn't help them,
Nobody will.
oh come on, you have more pull than that, don't you?
Do you have any questions about the
Oh my
petition?
God,
Paul?
thanks, I'm retiring.
Question for Steve. Steve, did you put up all the fencing, snow fence yet, up yet? Is it all spoken for?
No, nothing yet.
Because I sure would like someone.
Oh, yeah, it helps.
I contributed 25 foot of it one year, so I'm like, here, take use of it. Please put some up. Bill's getting started.
Sleep fast.
What is this?
Oh, I hope not.
The hat.
Yeah, you
You're known by that.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Okay, number 8, resolution number 52, official undertaking of municipal office. Whereas various sections of New York State town law and public officer law require that certain officials execute an official undertaking, and whereas we, the town board of the town of Stafford, hereby require the supervisor, deputy supervisor, town clerk, tax collector, town justice clerks, bookkeeper, and highway superintendent to execute said official undertaking as required by law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Stafford Town Board hereby approves the document entitled Town of Stafford Official Undertaking of Municipal Officers, annexed hereto as to its form and manner of execution, and be it further resolved, the town does and shall maintain insurance coverage in the sum of $500,000 for the town clerk tax collector, $100,000 for the deputy town clerks, $249,000 for the court clerks, $10,000 for the highway superintendent, bookkeeper, and town justices to indemnify against losses through the failure of the officers, clerks, and employees covered thereunder faithfully to perform their duties or to account properly for all monies or property received by virtue of their positions or employment, and through fraudulent or dishonest acts committed by the officers, clerks, and employees covered thereunder, and be it further resolved that said official undertaking contains the notarized signatures of those named municipal officials be filed in the office of the town clerk, as well as the original copies of the insurance policies indicating the sufficiency and sureties to indemnify the town against losses which may arise from failure of such officials to properly discharge their duties. That's it.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Councilman Panic,
Yes.
Councilman Schramm is absent. Councilman Deason,
Yes.
Councilman Pacer,
Yes.
Supervisor Clement, yes.
No, I need to sign.
Yeah, we all have to sign that. See, I already read the top part of it, didn't
Yes.
Yeah, they're just signing it here.
I? Yeah. It passes around and everybody has to sign it. I should have specified what these things are written.
This one is
I got it. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Resolution number 53, adoption of final budget for the town of Stafford for the year 2024.
Bob, before you vote on that, did you guys get all my questions that Ed had me send yous? Barb had me email yous. I emailed you a bunch of questions.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna answer those before you vote on it?
Either ask now or ask at the end.
I know the ones with questions are gonna make a difference.
How does this play into our tax rates, the budget for 24?
From 23 to 24, we're going up, aren't we?
Oh, good. I don't know exactly what the number is.
And then,
Well, shouldn't we know the rate before you vote on it?
yeah, it should be right in the front of it. I think it's from,
It went from 124 to 148.
Why so high?
we actually had it at 123, and then we did the chargebacks for Water District 12 that we have to float for the next year.
You compare that to other towns, and I think you'll find it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Pretty good shape.
So is the budget going, it's hard for me to hear back here, but is the budget going up? Is it going down? Is it staying the same?
The budget is up
It's up. By how much?
year to year.
That would be my budget file.
Unfortunately, I didn't bring my glasses. Grand total is $2,446,733. All right, that's grand total of general fund, highway, water fund, fire protection, and special districts.
What was last year?
Resolution 53, adoption of final budget for the town of Stafford for the year 2024. Whereas the town of Stafford Chief Fiscal Officer has prepared a tentative budget for review by the Stafford Town Board, and whereas the town of Stafford met in budget session amongst themselves and with town employees in the formulation of the preliminary budget, and whereas the 2024 preliminary budget was adopted on October 18th, 2023, and after which a public hearing was held on October 24th, 2023, for all interested parties to be heard. And therefore be it resolved that the town of Stafford hereby adopts the 2024 budget for the town of Stafford.
So move.
Second. Bob? Pacer?
Yeah.
Second?
Second.
So much for that. No, we don't, we only have total highway, total.
All, motion by Councilman Pacer and second by Councilman Deason.
Why is the budget going up?
Health insurance,
Nobody seems to be answering anything here, and I'm just trying to figure out why our budget's going up.
health insurance took a 13%
Hold on,
hit.
can I just say something real quick?
State retirement.
We're in a period of inflation right now. And so, in my house, I have to lower the heat because I can't afford to keep the heat at that number. But what you're saying is we need to spend more money right now we're giving money to the fire department, and I look at the budget that they have, and I see numbers on there, and I don't understand why we're giving all this money away. Why are we doing what we're doing right now in an inflationary period? This is not fiscally responsible to the taxpayers of Stafford, in my opinion.
Everything we touch is more expensive this year than it was last year. Just like your house, my house, everybody's house. You're paying more money for everything that you buy. And that's why.
What I do is I shop those things around, I try to lower my expenses.
And
But I don't go out and spend more money and buy a new fire truck or, I look at the budget and I see all the things at the fire department that are really kind of glaring at me. And nobody's ever asked for the taxpayers to get involved to help save the town some money. Since I've been here for the last 2.5 years, I've never heard somebody say, hey, we should form a committee so that we can try to save some money, get the taxpayers involved, because ultimately we're the ones paying for all this stuff.
Who all got raises? I see people got raises. Why would you even do raises?
Because we want to
This year.
keep good people in the jobs.
The other thing I got to say is, I hope that next year you dig a little bit deeper into the financial budget of that fire department.
All right.
Because now wait a minute, there's some things in there I want you or somebody to explain to me. I'm not an accountant. But when I see interest of $10,000, where's that principal on that money? What is that money? Where are they getting the $10,000 worth of interest off in something? That's quite a substantial amount of money.
From the money they have in their truck fund.
No, it doesn't come anywhere near that. And then they're getting 25% on their money. And I know they can't get that because I went to the bank. If they get 2%, they're lucky. So they've got a big chunk of money sitting someplace, and I understand that it's enough to pay for that truck. If not, how come they ordered that truck before you gave them the extra money? They must have been sure of having that money or having money in their own account to take care of that new $1.2 million truck or whatever it's gonna cost them. It's pretty close to that, I guess. I mean, my idea was maybe, I agree, we should support the fire department, we need them. But maybe we should hang on to our money and we draw the interest on it until time comes and I understand their truck is in. And it's been in. So they must have ordered it before you even told them that they were gonna get all this extra money. $400,000 is a lot of money when they're not trying themselves to make any money. I mean, they said they were going to make...
We've had this discussion in many...
I know, I understand, I'm not going to talk anymore.
Let's go over it again.
Next year we'll straighten
Let's go over it again. The first year that they came out of not having the support of or the first couple of years, not having the support of the carnival, they were budgeting about $300,000. And then what they found is they would never make up the equipment if they kept budgeting at $300,000. So then they moved it to 405 and 406, and they've kept it there for 3 years now.
2 years, last year, this year, and next year, right?
Yes.
$181,000 is for that truck.
Yes.
Each year.
You don't need a truck right now, sorry.
Unfortunately, they time out. You can't get insurance if you have over 25-year-old trucks.
Okay, so then if we have 25-year-old trucks, why are we spending money getting them cleaned up? Why aren't they cleaning those trucks up?
Are you asking why volunteers aren't volunteering more?
Why what?
Why volunteers aren't volunteering more?
Is that a private company?
Our volunteers don't do any fundraising whatsoever.
All right.
But we're paying for the fire department. Why would I want to pay to have the fire truck cleaned when there's capable people down there that could do it on a Saturday? Or even invite the town people if they want to do it. I'd be happy to clean that truck. But I don't want to spend money for it right now.
We do it ourselves.
It's a waste of our money. And there's nobody, it just seems like there's nobody looking at the expenses here. And yet, you're gonna go and approve a budget that the taxpayers are gonna have to fund, which means my taxes are gonna go up.
they have a 6-truck fleet, they're gonna reduce it to a 4-truck fleet. The amount of money they're asking for will pay for the 4-truck fleet. And the next inflection point will be 2026, I believe they covered in the meeting, which we'll have to look at what trucks will be required to get us through 2035.
One. That one big truck will fight any fire in the town of Stafford all by itself. I know a lot of people don't understand about those trucks. We fought fires years ago with 2 trucks. Now we gotta have 6. There's less barns today than there was then. But I'm not begrudging the fact that you gotta support them. They're a necessary thing that we gotta have. I'm just wondering why all that kind of money, now if that's a private company, why are we putting all that money into a private company and we don't have any say about how they spend it? They buy anything they want. I got a copy of their budget and looked through it, and $15,000 repair on a truck that's 3 years old, $14,000 for another one. And then the budget, I don't know if you looked at the budget, I don't know how you read the thing, it's weird the way that's written up, but they put $6,000 down for gas for the trucks, but then the chief's gas is $600. I mean, why weren't they combined so that you would know they were all one thing? There's a lot of things in there, I think, that somebody a lot smarter than me should be looking
One's
at.
gasoline and one's diesel.
Yeah, I understand that, yeah. But we need 3 little trucks? Come on.
I got a question. Line item on our tax bill every year, there's fire department. You know, where does that money go? Does that go into a bucket as part of this $400,000?
That is their $400,000.
So basically you levy us.
We're the taxing authority because we don't do a fire district.
We're a fire protection district.
Okay, so whatever they want, you divide that up by all the taxpayers, and that's what we have to pay.
Yes.
Okay. What about the other line items? You got library and, you know, there's a whole bunch of other ones that I don't know where that money goes.
I don't recall Stafford tax bills ever having a library.
Well, it's on our bill.
You sure that's not part of your county?
This is school tax.
Well, it's part of the tax.
All right.
Batavia School.
Well, yeah, so.
Pavilion has it. Fire and Virgin's gonna have.
But there's a bunch of line items that you can't find on our, on the budget where that bucket is.
So don't forget that's a county and town tax bill.
Okay.
So it has Medicaid on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's county.
Okay.
Because if we wanted to, could we break it out? How much is highway, how much is general, how much is...
Yeah.
We could.
Yeah, I would if it's a tax bill, I would assume that you'd put it into a bucket and say, okay, we paid the county X amount of dollars because this is what we collected from the town. But it's, vapor money there. It's gone. You don't see a track for it. You don't see a path. It's on your bill, you pay the bill, but you don't know where the money is.
All right. If you look at how we fund the town, the majority of it is sales tax from the county. And then we add on any revenues that we get from the court, and then the rest of it is how we raise in tax.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just saying there should be a path. If you take $1 in, it should show where that dollar goes.
Court is a deficit.
What's that?
Well, that's what the actual budget, that's what the actual budget document is.
No, it doesn't show anything on there about where that money goes. If there's a deficit of X amount of money because it's Medicaid money to the county, it should show that.
Oh, on your tax bill?
No, on the
It's not us.
That's
on the
not
budget
us.
itself.
It's not us.
This matches up to the town and fire tax that you have on your bill.
Okay, so anything the county wants isn't on there.
It's on the bill because we do bills with them, but the only portion is town and fire tax.
Right.
And the breakdown of it is in this document.
But you still touch that money, correct?
We take it in and give
Yeah.
it to
So
the different
there
entities.
should be a path, there should be a line item that says X amount of dollars goes to the county for this.
Yeah.
It's typical accounting, I mean, you just don't say, we take in this money and it, you know.
When
it's
you
got-
look at your bill, there's
It's
a
invisible.
portion that is the county. And if you want the breakdown on it, it's in the county budget. There's a portion of it that's town and a portion of it that's fire. And you have the overall amount is carried as a light item in this budget for fire, and then their budget is broken down further.
I guess I've never seen that where in a public area, you bring money in and there's no indication of where it goes.
I think,
What we have, an overall amount. We have a budget that tells you how you break down that overall amount. What part is missing that you're expecting?
All the line items that are on the tax bill. If I pay you the money for this, you know, okay, here's my tax bill, all the line items add up to whatever, you know, some amount. You break out your part, there should be something else that says, this is the town's, this goes to the county.
It's right on your bill. It shows you what is county, what is town.
But you have the money. I'm not giving it to the county, I'm giving it to you, correct?
Yeah,
And we send it on to the county.
And that's what you should show on there.
He's saying on this here, there's not a line that says county money, how much it is, right? That's what this,
For all we know, you make up the Medicaid amount and you say, okay, we'll just, you know, take this in and pass it on. I mean, there should be accountability for every dollar that comes to your hands.
give us a little credit for not doing what
I-
you just said.
I guarantee you, if we send a check 1 penny less than what's on the county bill, we will be told.
Okay, but it's simple accounting. You should show in and out.
Because the only in is what comes to the town.
No,
You're paying a town-county bill.
I
We
pay-
collect it, we send the
Exactly.
county portion onto the county.
Charlie,
Yeah,
come see me. I'll show you.
okay.
how much did we,
There's a document on the transfer.
I mean, if I ran a business like that, I'd be shut down. I mean, it's a
You'll
terrible
understand
way.
when you see it. Come see me. It's easier to show you than explain it to you.
probably have to foil it.
I just want to see the path, that's all, yeah, the in and out.
Just think next year though, that the amount of money you're giving them at the fire department, how much interest they're making on your money. That, I mean, you're giving them $400,000 roughly. 250,000 of
It
that's.
isn't our money, it's your money.
I know, that's why I'm saying that, my money and his money, and 250,000 of it's gonna go into a savings account waiting to pay for that truck. At least 2%, because I had checked with the bank. That's 5,000. 5,000 this year, 5,000 next year. That's 15,000 bucks. That could have been our money to stay here. We'll give them their money when the time comes, but we don't need to so actually you gave them more than a raise.
So
You gave
then-
them more than 400,000, you give them 400 plus the interest.
So then if we move that money to here, we're commingling their budget and our budget. The way we do it now, it's very straightforward. They accumulate the money, they accumulate the interest, and they buy their equipment with it. If we don't give them the money, but then we have to do the, what's it called, reserve,
Yeah.
then
How much reserve they got? Do you know?
quite a bit.
Over
Quite a bit, over $1 million.
Yes.
Way over $1 million.
How much does a new main truck cost?
Then why don't they pay for it?
That's what they're.
Let the town keep our money. They need to put a roof on there after they've used their money for that truck. Fine, come over here, we'll see about giving you some money for the roof. But why are we paying a private company $1.2 million for a truck that they got the money sitting in the bank, drawing interest?
It's drawing interest until they buy the actual truck.
They
So
bought
why
the
don't we
actual
wait
truck
and
2
not
years
pay them
ago.
until they have the truck?
What's that?
Why don't we wait and pay them when they have the truck instead of giving it to them at a time? Then we could be making
We
the
would
interest on the
have
money.
to, then we would have to do a reserve every year in the town that would be the exact same as the reserve they have in the fire department.
Like an unexpended balance.
Except that we'd be getting the interest instead of them. Yes?
Whether they get the interest or we get the interest goes against the final expense. Or you can borrow for your equipment. Then you're paying an interest expense where you do it the opposite way. You borrow and then you budget for the payments.
If I could run a small business like that and have somebody else pay all my bills, I'll just keep my money. I'll work on their money.
All right, we have.
Ron, I have a copy of this budget. Where does it show how much we took in taxes? Isn't that a line? Because I've been trying to find it and I can't figure it out.
Took in on taxes from what?
Property taxes.
All right. It'll be under revenues. General fund, highway, water. Fire protection. Where's the revenue portion on this?
Yeah, I couldn't find it either.
Amount to be raised by tax. So for total town is 300,000. Water fund is 174. Fire is 406.
Page one.
One of the things that, and I remind everybody on this, we very much depend on the sales tax revenue. You go just north of us, Orleans County doesn't share sales tax revenue. So for the property I own property in Stafford, and the tax rate's gonna be $1.48. The tax rate that I just last paid on the family farm that my brother and I own is $11.04. And if you think the county taxes go down to accommodate it, they do to a degree, but nowhere near what.
Yeah. You better hope that racetrack never goes out of business.
Yep.
So you're saying just 300,000 we take in taxes?
Yes.
Or that's what's gonna be?
From the local taxes. Town of Stafford.
For 224.
That's low compared to other towns.
Yes.
Boy. That's way down.
See, the county's only kicking in 580. Before COVID, they were kicking in 900,000.
Yeah.
So that's where the 300 makes the difference.
Well, why do you think they wanted to get the directors for the racetrack into Rochester and Buffalo? They want to get that money out of Genesee County,
Sure. And they're working at it.
Yeah, they're working at it, yeah, right there.
Had to have a $70 million jail. We can't put nobody in.
Okay.
All right, we got a motion here
everybody.
on the table, adoption of 2024 budget. Motion by Councilman Baker, second by Councilman Deason. Roll call.
Councilman Panic?
Yes.
Councilman Deason?
Yes.
Councilman Baker?
Yes.
Supervisor Clement?
Yes. Passed 4-0. 0, with one absent. Okay.
Thank you. I'm struggling without my glasses. Sorry.
Okay, resolution number 54. There it is. Resolution increasing 2023 budgetary line items for sale of equipment. This is highway. Whereas the highway superintendent sold surplus equipment at auction, and whereas the town of Stafford received excess funds of $55,590, and whereas to account for these funds, the budgetary line items need to be increased. Now therefore be it resolved, the Stafford Town Board hereby authorizes increasing revenue line item DA 2655 and increasing expenditure line item DA 5130.2 in the amount of $55,590.
Then was the
Sale of the trucks.
Motion to do this?
so moved.
Second. Motion by Councilman Patty, second by Councilman Pacer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed?
Now, you have no new equipment in this year's budget, right?
No.
We have budget transfers for 2023. Some accounts are a little too close, and some have enough money to take out of their account and put into others, shuffling money around so it all comes out even. And that's resolution number 55. And anybody can see a copy of this, I don't know.
It's not gonna make sense or anything.
No.
Well, you'd have to track it to account number.
Right. But anyway,
For general fund, the highest movement is about $1,300. No, $3,800 in one account, $1,300 in two others, and then under $500 in a bunch of others.
Motion to authorize the budget transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Patty, second by Councilman Deason. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Water District 12, upgrade to
Swap funds.
I don't know, you got one that works?
Things are done.
I don't know. All right, there's a bunch of information here regarding Water District 12. I assume all the pipe is in the ground?
Nope,
No?
we don't have the pipe under the road to ours.
No, but the pipe, the transmission.
Oh,
line.
well, it's not
transmission
all the
line.
pipe, but yeah, I
No,
think the
you-
main stuff.
You'll get it. You're along, you gotta go under the road to come to your place.
Any update from Clark Patterson on that, or?
Last I knew, they're waiting on CSX and the Thruway Authority. Once they get those two okay, then they can do the drilling on them, and then they can pressurize up. Last I knew, they're still 30 days out on giving the okay from either of the two.
Can't water up until you got all of that,
That'd be better.
you know. All right, we're down to number 12.
But you.
Well, the water district number 12 update. Are addressing myself and Barb attached for your consideration at the November 13th Town Board meeting. Please find payment application number 2 from Sergi in the amount of $483,345.35. This contains both work completed and stored materials for the project. Once signed, please forward a scanned copy to Clark Patterson and Municipal Solutions. Also enclosed are certified payrolls 6 through 10 from Sergi Construction, and as well as certified payroll 1 from Turner Underground for 10/21/23. So,
Jimmy's got
Yes.
the bill.
I just need a motion to approve this.
You have the bill
Yes.
too, don't you? Well, why don't we just do a motion to approve their correspondence, and then we'll do another motion to approve the invoice. So move to,
Okay.
so move to approve the total and what, you got the breakdown for, what's it called, where the state mandates a wage rate for these projects. Prevailing wage.
Okay, second on that?
Second.
Third.
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Pacer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, we're on.
Do you have all my questions? You can start with those. They had me email them.
Okay, so questions on budget or questions on hirings?
Let's do budget first.
Okay. Your first question, you're asking about why did a listing,
Let's do it in order.
that's,
So we don't get some.
I've got it right in front of me.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so last November 14th, I believe was the date meeting, salaries were read and voted and agreed upon, also taped on video news services. Town board members, 4 at $4,000 each. So why does the budget read 5616? The only document I could find that says $4,000 is a update to the Daily News that listed $4,000. Our budget for town board has been the same from 220 on. 219 it was 5,400, then it was 5616 moving forward.
Oh, it was read and it was in one of the papers I have at home that listed all the salaries and it said 4,000 and then and you all agreed upon it and then it says 5616. Is that 5616, do you guys get state pensions?
You can.
Do you get paid state pensions?
You're
out of
asking
our?
if, we have to offer state pensions to our employees. And now you're getting into really personal data.
You'll have the union down talking to you. Don't take the union away.
But, I mean, and they're very proportional to.
Well, I
what the
just saw it on the
wages.
budget thing, we pay like $50,000 in state pensions to, so I guess I assumed only full-time employees would
Yeah.
get state pensions, but anybody can get a state pension that works for the town.
If you're drawing a
want.
paycheck, you can join state retirement.
You can join,
Yes.
so our tax-paid dollars aren't paying it, you
No,
guys
we
take it
pay.
out of your pay. Oh, okay, then I'm good with that, okay.
Okay, let's see, next one. What's the training cost for $1,000 scheduled for the supervisor? If we don't know what all of our training needs are gonna be, we tend to put it under the supervisor's account, and then he can release it for others. We did the same thing back when Julie started out fresh. I think we put it under your budget and then released it from there. So we got Don starting off, so we're not quite sure what training we'll get charged for him. So it's a convenient place to put it.
Okay.
Tax collector, $9,500. Let the county go back and do it for $8,000. Actually, $5,500 is the charge for doing it, and $4,000 is the creation of the bills, the mail, all the items that surround getting the tax bills in and out.
And it's
It's
gone
not
up that
for the
much
tax
from all the
collector.
years? I mean, it didn't look like that years ago, it's gone up that much?
Okay, auditor. Auditor from 12K to 17K and 224. This never went out to bid. We just use who Batavia uses. And this will come up again when you're asking about hiring practices. Professional services are not bid for low cost. They are what the best value is.
But you didn't look around, you just took who Batavia used?
Because we use the same people as Batavia, and they're the ones that looked around. The people we got were the best deal going.
And what did you say, how did you word that? It was the public, what type of job is that? The auditor?
Professional services.
Professional services.
So we contract with Batavia for our bookkeeper and financial clerk,
Yeah, so why did theirs go up?
because Batavia is charging us more for that.
Can we not put that out to bid and or hire someone?
Yes, we could, but it'll probably cost quite a bit more than what we're paying.
How much do they work, how many hours a week do they work? Do we even know? They don't come in the office, right? They just work from home? Are they ever here?
No, they work from the town of Batavia, and then they come in here a couple of days a week, don't they, Bart, early in the morning?
6 a.m. to 8 a.m.
6 to 8. They were here this morning. Phone rang at 6:05.
And they also work for Stafford in the town of Batavia too, so they work a lot of hours.
Their paycheck is from Batavia. And we're looking at a similar thing for code inspection.
Security, are we getting new security?
The security is all through the court. It was 76, the proposed is 7,600, last year's was 7,600. The prior year before that was 3,600, and they're covering all of the courts and the jury trials.
Did they ever move those cameras over? I know you wanted them moved over. They're still in the court? You said something about moving them, the cameras over to Bob's office or something.
Oh, so
at
that
one of
Bob
the-
has access to
Right.
the security cameras. That's,
Yes.
We haven't done that.
all right.
Waiting on bids.
But don't forget, what you're paying for, that money is to have a sheriff's deputy here for court.
Well, I didn't know if that was just security cameras, so that
No.
includes a little bit more.
That is,
They're like gone underneath.
yes. That is paying the wage of the deputy sheriff to be here for security. Assessor up 2,500 and increase the first year, or part of the offer made. It was part of the offer made. There's no budget for a helper. Because you ask, is she getting a helper? No, there's no budget for it.
Well, because it had contractual under the line, so I just thought that was like a helper amount.
No, the helper was Ann, if you recall, Ann split her wage between her and her helper. Then Ann fell down the stairs, so we had to depend on the helper for that period of time. And the helper interviewed for the position, but Lori by far was the best candidate, and we went with Lori. And we do have a habit of, when somebody new starts, even if they're that experienced, that we don't quite pay them what we paid the person leaving. We offered 22.5 the first year, naturally prorated, and then match Ann's salary the second year. Feedback on Lori has been positive across the board from what I hear.
Yes, she's great.
So-
She answers my questions even when she's not working for Stafford.
5% increase to the town clerk plus tax collection amount. And then you have on here, sorry, there should be no raises. We do want to keep good people in our offices. Right now, Barb would be she was the 7th highest paid out of 13 towns, and which puts her at the center third. It'll put her in the lower center third. This would put her right about in the middle, and that's if nobody else, no other town gives out a raise. So I think we have her well positioned. Okay, next one. Here's my big one. Attorney fee for 18K for lawsuit 0. I know some lawyers, and I've been, do you want me to go on with this, or do you want me to simply explain? I know some lawyers, and I've been told that on a good, smooth case, which will, this will not be, I'm sure, in Supreme Court, where I believe we were told that the case is going, will cost taxpayers at least 30 to 50K in lawyer fees. I feel we, the taxpayers, need to know how much an hour the new law firm is charging. If the town board did not figure out an hourly court time alone, that plain irresponsible put us taxpayers on the hook for that.
They gave us a figure for whatever they were doing.
What was it?
I don't have that number in front of me.
Hourly rate.
Apologize for that.
Don, you were in on first approaching them. If I recall, the hourly rate, if we use Roach, who's the primary, is $250 an hour, which is the same as our attorney. And if we have to substitute in Dave, he gets more at $325. Is my recollection correct?
You're in the neighborhood.
All right.
Yeah, you're in the neighborhood, yeah.
How much
Okay.
is it cost us?
What's that?
How much is it costing us to litigate that?
Well, it will develop, but we budgeted between code enforcement and if we get a solar panel lawsuit that they want to overrule our law, we budgeted $18,000.
But that's for everything the lawyers do.
Yes,
Whether it be Boylan, we still got him for
yes.
stuff that he wants to handle?
Now, personally, I'm a fan of, you have the same guy litigate and does our day-to-day. Now, Dave is the new firm, Mark, says he doesn't want to do litigation in court. So, I think we should look for an attorney that does both our day-to-day stuff and does our litigation when it comes up in January.
And we can do that anytime, instead of, if we have an issue that we don't want, guys from Leroy to do, well, then we'll go with the other.
All right, we pick our lawyer in January.
If you get two, you're gonna be paying $250 an hour for them two to talk together.
Well, that's probably the biggest thing, is that if you're doing the day-to-day and litigate, even if they're more expensive, you're better off with them together. So I guess what I'm hinting at is we're at a decision point. Do we continue with the split, or do we move on to a new attorney? But that's a question for me, not for Cathy.
Somebody should look at it down the road.
We can skip over the next few because those were fire department things that we've sort of already gone over. Down to the number 3, on the budget, what is adult recreation for $4,000?
That's something we've been doing for years, where we pay for lunches and field trips on a program with Leroy for our senior citizens. So it's basically recreation for our seniors.
Oh, so it goes to the seat, if they get a subsidy. I didn't know that.
Do you pay for, now we go to the one in Leroy.
That's the one we're paying for.
Knights of Columbus.
But where is that money going? Because we don't have a director from Stafford that's getting paid to put that on. Who is it? My wife puts it on every day. She's down there helping Rosemary Miller every week, or every month. Rosemary gets paid for that through Leroy.
And we're paying for it.
And
But
we're
who does
paying
Stafford
for half
pay?
of her.
Nobody?
No,
Who pays that?
no, we don't have a Stafford representative.
So Linda needs to stop doing that.
Some of the guys in town have been down there. Dick Smith comes down there time. We get Bob come down there.
If you're from Stafford, you can participate in the Leroy
But
program.
I kept thinking, why should Leroy pay Rosemary? And my wife goes down with 2 other women and sets the tables and
It's been Stafford, Leroy forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going on for years. I mean, it's nothing new. I just was questioning, I wonder what it pays for that job to do that. They should look into it.
It's a shame more people don't take advantage of it.
Well, yeah, I know. We get 25, 30 people, and that's all you get, but
Okay, you want me to go on to hiring?
Yep.
Okay. I think the bookkeeper and secretary should be a hire and advertised for. We went to having Batavia do it when we lost Karen about 8 years ago. It's been a savings for us since then. Now, of course, there is always the risk that Batavia could say, well, it's just grown too much to be out of our scope. And then we would have, the only alternative we have to do is to hire. But right now, we get 2 well-experienced clerks for about the same price us getting a part-timer would be.
I mean, the training on that system is just,
You want somebody to walk in the office cold turkey and start that job?
Okay.
No way.
50, 60,000 at best to get somebody.
Cleaner, was this an employee hire or a bid contract request? We're open to either. We had both private individuals apply and we had companies apply. The companies were high. So
This person would be an employee that we pay on a W-2. If it was a company, we would pay out the same money on a 1099.
So, we've hired someone, you hired someone, I can't remember what their name was. So they're an employee now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because I know it went out to
Yeah.
bid, so when I heard it went out to bid, I took it that it wasn't gonna be an employee, so,
No.
okay.
No. As a matter of fact, the person that we hired was the number 2 candidate when we hired the previous year. And he came back and we all thought it was appropriate. Well, if you came back. So, and the other candidate, that other candidate was great. If our current one wasn't there, would have gladly gone with the second candidate. Well, no, it would be the second, because we hired Carl. And Carl was number 2 to Michelle when she left, so then Carl applied again, and we had another very good person apply again, and then we had some companies apply.
I'm just trying to figure out which, now I know Barb hires her own deputies, and she advertises for those, right? If and when she hires a deputy. I'm just trying to figure out who gets, the assessor isn't getting a helper, so we got that one over. The Board of Reviews, the Assessor Board of Reviews, those 3 people, are they appointed?
They're appointed, we get the recommendation from the assessor, and we appoint them, and there's a little budget blurb where it's $300, and that's $100 apiece for them to handle the Board of Assessment review.
Once a year.
And the zoning board and the boarding and the planning board are all appointed?
They're all appointed, they give us a recommendation, and we normally approve them. I can't think, I've been here 18 years, I can't think of us turning them down.
I didn't bring my list. Was that all the things I had? I'm
Yes.
going off my email.
Yeah, this is off your email.
Okay. Oh, past things that have been tabled. That was my question. That was my other question. Did that door ever get fixed? Did you change keys or anything? You're talking about going with some door didn't close right?
It's all fixed.
And it's all fixed? Didn't have to get new
Doors
keys?
fixed. Didn't we just look at somebody for key entry?
No, that's a different issue.
Yeah.
We're getting this.
It's all
We're
out to bid.
we're in process.
Toilets, bathrooms are all fixed?
Yep, so far. Just somebody wrecks them again. It was all done in-house. Me and Andrew there, we did, and Eddie, probably saved the town a couple grand doing it in-house. Plumber's $150 an hour, so.
Did you do that with code and zoning? Did it pass?
Yeah, he looked at it.
Okay. That's it.
Anything else?
We can go into executive session.
And when we pay the bills first.
How do we go around the table and see if anything?
That's good.
I'm good.
I gave my update on cable, that's, I'm good.
Okay. I'm good. All right, now.
Bills?
Make a motion to pay general fund number 11 to $51,681.32.
Second. 681.
681.32.
Salt's going up this year.
Take some.
Motion by Councilman Deason,
Salt.
pay general fund number 11 in the amount of $51,681.32. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Make a motion to pay highway number 11 for $45,566.68.
Second.
Cents.
$45,566.68.
Who seconded it?
Bob. Pacer.
Okay. Motion by Councilman Deason to pay highway abstract number 11 for $45,566.68. Second by Councilman Pacer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Make a motion to pay capital projects number 11, $559,728.55. All water District 12.
When do you get the money back on District 12?
When it closes,
When it closes, when it's all done and finalized?
sometime in June or July if we're lucky.
Did you get it, Bob?
Yeah, we got,
I seconded that one.
We trust him, right?
okay, motion by Councilman Deason to pay capital projects number 11 for $55,728.
550.
559,000.
Yeah.
Over $500,000.
Okay, 559. 728.55.
55, yep.
Right.
Second by Councilman Pan.
Save that check, don't pick it up. Don't mail it.
Yeah.
We got it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Okay.
It's about $1,000 a glass full.
That's it.
Okay. Any further business to come before the town?
Okay, we've got an executive session was requested.
Motion to go into executive session at 9:17. Second for that.
Second. Yeah.